right, here we go. Man, it is an honor and a privilege to have the legendary Marcus Cowboy Williams in the building itself, man. Words can't describe how much respect I have for this man. An honorary father, man. Just a legend in the game, man. It's been through so much and persevered through the triumphs of adversity, right? Still here, still standing. Nothing but respect, I have for Cowboy.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Brother Jackie.
Man, I want you kind of start from the beginning, man. Tell everybody just a little bit who Cowboy Williams is and how did you first start, man? How did you develop these qualities as a loving father and now just a leader to every child, every person that you come across now, man? You got in the way, man. You've been gifted with principles that are valuable in today's society now.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your question, Brother Jackie. I don't believe in coincidences. First and foremost, I believe that everything that we go through, negative or positive, is built from the mindset first and foremost, and what you get out of that experience after you go through it, once again, negative or positive, I feel like it builds you. So I don't believe in coincidences. But as far as the foundation, the beginning of my story, it's always, I didn't realize it until my late 30s, but it's always been revolved around children.
Yes, sir.
I guess. I don't know. I've been dealing with them throughout my childhood. I had my first when I was 16 years old. And I wasn't out there. You know, I didn't move around like that. But at the same time, I was a 16-year-old father for 6 days. You do the math, and then from there, my life took flight, homie.
Damn.
Yep.
What was that like being a 16-year-old father, man? What can you describe the dynamic of that feeling? 16 years old. Tell everybody like the frameworks of what you went through and how did that just develop you into a man at a young age?
Yeah, see, where that started from was I was blessed, and not all people are. Not all people are, unfortunately. But I was blessed with a good mother. I was blessed with a great mother. And first thing she said to me was, you know, okay, you call yourself being serious about this young lady, you know, you need to get a job, you know, you need to get serious, you know. You got a particular set of obligations that you need to provide towards as being in a title, you know, even as a boyfriend. So I took that seriously, and I did, and I ended up having to quit the football team because my high school sweetheart got pregnant, and we rode with it. I quit the football team, I got a job, and I started holding down business like I'm supposed to, man.
Yes. That's a sacrifice, though.
Yep, life is about it.
Sacrifice before victory.
That's exactly right.
So your first son name is Malik Williams, right?
Yes, sir.
And in the documentary, you talk about how Malik saved your life, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate that for me? Because our first kids, man, like if you don't step it up having your first kid, right? Then come on, nothing's gonna really save you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, everybody has a different path of life, and I didn't really have all the outlets and instruction and discipline in my life at the time because my father wasn't in our lives at the time.
Yes.
Once again, I had spoken, she was a single mother of 3 boys, had no daughters. So she was doing her damnedest. And there came a point to where one of our brothers ended up getting some guidance from one of his coaches, and he took a different path, you know. And my other brother had already been consumed by the streets,
Right.
so that left me out there kind of on the whim, and that's what I dealt with, the whim. So I was book smart, I was street smart, and some more stuff. So that also made me a little bit more dangerous than what I should have been.
That's a fact. Nowadays, as a man, right, you gotta be dangerous. You gotta be dangerous and ready, and we gotta be prepared for anything, because everything, especially the mental programming of society, trying to demasculate the man.
I know.
As much as possible.
That's been a big issue.
It's been a big issue, the demasculation of the man. So a lot of man principles that we stand by now is being villainized, and it's robbing of our masculinity. We're being told these things that aren't really masculine. You know, you see a lot of guys kind of painting their fingernails and doing a little bit of feminine things, acting off emotion rather than critical thinking and
Yes, sir,
rational
indeed.
thought.
Yes, sir, indeed.
Can you elaborate what's going on with society right now with the programming?
See, when it comes to that, see, we can't deprogram, because what they've been working on for years, decades.
Facts.
We can't deprogram that overnight. They've already forced these Gorilla Globes and Cardi B's, just in my opinion. I ain't knocking them ladies or whatever. I don't care for them. As soon as I hear their music, I turn it off. And as soon as I hear my children, hearing that music, I turn it off. That's just my perspective. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
I ain't knocking them. Get your money. If that's what you all about, then go for it. But that type of situation right there with them women, and the way that they talk about, 95 degrees, I ain't got no Negro and no Negro ain't got me. All that type of stuff that's separating unification.
Yeah.
And that's just, as far as I'm concerned, an atomic bomb. And they just eating it up, unfortunately, because we're down to the generation of independent women that don't need nobody, and men that gave up and don't want to bother with a woman. So they call themselves winning, but I don't think they have. I think that we're far from finished. I think that unification is on the brink of greatness, and I feel like we're gonna be all right.
Of course. I like what you just said. We talk about the separation of the man and the women. It's really programmed, because you can't have masculine energy without the feminine energy.
Yes,
the
sir.
feminine energy actually balances out
exactly
the masculine man.
That's
right?
exactly right, sir.
It's
I agree with that.
yang.
I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that.
How has feminine energy, right, from your mother, the people that you love, right, people in your life, how does that balance you out? Because you have a lot of nurturing principles, right? And it's all because you have to bring that feminine energy in you. The masculine and the feminine has to come together in order for us to be complete as humans, right?
Yes, sir.
One can't be stronger than the other.
No.
We still are masculine, but we still have a feminine energy, and that feminine energy is nurturing. And you display that nurturing through your kids.
Nourishment is very much so necessary to fuel masculinity. That much I can agree to. But I don't 100% agree to what you just said, because at the same time, in the same breath, I feel like, I guess I agree to disagree, because I feel like a man has to position himself or be positioned to be open-minded, and even though he's supposed to be the leader in more ways than one, okay, she's the backbone and the foundation of his drive, of his force, and giving strength towards what he believes in doing right. So I feel like unless they can find a common ground, which is hard to do, once again these days because of the world that we was raised in. Unfortunately, you know, they push us against each other, man against woman. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even look at it as a race thing. I look at it as a man against woman thing. You know, they talk about feminist this, masculinity that. I don't feel like this that. I feel like it's man and woman and unity, and I don't look at anything other than that, bro.
I like that.
I just don't.
I like the unity in itself, like you said, is coming as a whole, integrating ourselves together and working together. When we're separate, there's, you know, what can we do when we're separate? We're not as strong.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what sets off our balance of everything when we're separate.
I agree with that.
If we, how could we fix this if we had some of the frameworks like, can it be fixed?
It can be fixed. It can definitely be fixed. I don't believe any problem in the world cannot be fixed at some point in time. Might not be in our lifetime. It might not be in our lifetime, but that problem in itself can eventually be fixed. Because that coincide with the fact that I don't believe in coincidences. So look at it that way if you can fathom it. I carry myself the way I do because I went through a lot, and I'm comfortable within my skin. Cause you know, I experienced a lot. I've handled it my own way, the wrong and right way. So at this point, I'm a take it or leave me type of guy. I'm already a loner, so if you show me even a iota that you care about me, I'm gonna invest fully. That's just how I am. But on the double-edged sword, I am me. I am Marcus Paul Williams. I am known out here as Brother Cowboy. And unfortunately, once again, for all kind of reasons, don't need to be understood. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm Brother Cowboy, Jackie, and I just want to be real. I want to raise these I want to raise these kids, bro. That's all. That's my end of my story. I want to raise these kids. Good Lord, that I believe in. Blessed me with 7 daughters, Jackie.
7 daughters.
And 4 boys.
Man.
That's what I call a sense of humor. And I'm a hard ass if I've ever met one. You understand me? So the fact that I got 7 daughters and 4 boys, that's crazy, dog. And there's not a day, and I'm a very active father, Jackie, you know that.
So active.
I'm very active.
So active.
I'm a father. I ain't a daddy. So listen, bro, when I tell you that even being him, there's not a day that goes by I'm just not like giving all glory to the higher power that I believe in. Like, damn, you entrusted me with all this? Like, come on, dude, for real. And I just keep getting up and fighting.
I love it, man. It's beautiful. Like, what pushes you to keep going and to be this fostering father, man? Like you said, 7 daughters, 4 boys. You've guiding them in the right direction. Right? You have morals, you have principles, you have standards. Where do you get this strong sense of morality from?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The first thing that comes to mind, brother Jackie, is my elders. My elders, G. My first cousins. And so many, I buried so many, Jackie. Oh man, I talk about it quite often with my mother and how frustrated I am about it. And she tries to remind me, you know, it is what it is, for lack of better terms. But, you know, my elders, dog, all the things that my elders said to be my first cousins, because I've always had an older spirit, and I've always been around my first cousins in the first generation. I was 3rd. So to be around the first generation all those years and experience all those years with them, I spent a lot of time around my grandma. and my granny, both of them. Both my parents don't know it, but there's been quite a few memories. So yeah, there's that, and I think it's just the respect of trying to carry the bloodline. That's why I try to. That's why I try to fuck. That's why I try to fucking carry the bloodline. Like, don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect my bloodline. Don't disrespect my kids. Don't disrespect my family. I'll make sure they do the same. I can't control everybody. And if they wrong, I'll tell them they wrong, and I won't get involved. They get their ass kicked. They get their ass kicked. You know, I ain't gonna let it go too far. I ain't gonna get involved too much.
Yes.
But they only call me when things get completely out of control. And all glory be to God. It ain't got out of control for some while now.
Man, come on.
I've been good.
God's
I've been
good.
a good boy for about 3-4 years, G.
Bless
I ain't had to bother nobody, ain't nobody bother me. You hear me? I've just been trying to raise these kids.
That's that spiritual growth, though.
Yeah,
right?
I appreciate it too.
That's that spiritual growth.
Every step of it, I appreciate it.
Have you ever had times of adversity where you went through that spiritual journey where you were like really down at the bottom and really down we all been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me one of your testimonies and adversity stories that kind of led to a spiritual growth to you as the man you are now.
Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, and I don't know what I should say, unfortunately. There's been more than one, cuz.
Nice.
There's been more than one. One of them was when the fact that I'm 6'2". You hear me?
Yeah.
6'2". And I'm sleeping in one of my kids' mother's vehicles because I done went to court and lost I lost the space, you feel me, of my duplex, and I had paid them all their money and whatnot. They said they just didn't want me to be their tenant. So they got all their money and whatnot, but I had nowhere to go. And I was already going through it and just lost pops, you know, so I was going through it. And life don't stop. Life don't stop, you feel me? Just because somebody passed away, that's what people need to understand. Just because someone passed away that's dear to you or near to you, life don't stop. They finished their battle for whatever time was scheduled for them, from what I believe in. So, yeah, one of my trials and tribulations was when I conducted myself just the same, because didn't nobody know, kids, mothers, nobody. I had went through that situation and was slipping in the situation, and I went up and got up and went to work and continued to just conduct my business, take care of them motherfucking kids. And with faith, bruh, as far as I'm concerned, with faith and determination and hard work, guess what? Crawled out of it. Went to the next chapter. It's all a book. Life's a book, and you're gonna have several chapters. Look forward to each one, good, bad, and ugly.
I like that analogy. That's beautiful.
Life ain't pretty, but life can be extraordinary. And that in itself can mean different levels of things. It's all how you feel and perceive the ending. It's called extraordinary. And I hope everybody that I love and entertain or come across can finish off with that analogy that at the end, the whole ride was extraordinary. Depends on what you focus in on when it comes to your last rides.
I like that.
It is what it is, cuz.
It's extraordinary.
Yep.
The whole ride, the whole journey.
Yep.
The whole process
Yep.
is extraordinary.
Yes, sir.
At the beginning of this podcast, you said the mindset, right? The mindset of a person can really dictate your reality in itself, right?
Yes, sir.
How did you change your mindset, right? Because a lot of people, like you said, they get stuck in a mindset where they dwell on the loss of past loved ones, and they get stuck in that past emotion, and they get stuck in that past pain, right? And they just they stay stuck there in a loop, actually, right?
Yeah.
Man, how do people get out of that, man? Like for real, like how?
Through, unfortunately, what I'm just realizing, I just turned 40 because
40.
last November, straight up, all glory be to God. You hear me? I just realized, or came to my own self-realization, that the answer to that right there is not giving up on yourself.
Oh, man, that's deep.
Not being too hard on yourself, and that's one of my greatest battles. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes when you care so much, you're an extreme critic. You're an extreme critic on yourself, which also leads to other things, you know, and they're not positive. You feel me? Cause
Yeah.
when you're a big critic of yourself, you gonna take 1,000 steps forward, and you'll take 3 steps back, but then turn around and feel like you took 2,000 steps back. Cause you're terrible. This is a different caliber of person. Everybody's not like that, and I don't wish it on nobody. It's a terrible feeling, but trying to believe in yourself and do better and always strive to be a better person is my greatest attribute, my greatest strength, is because, yeah, on one side of the sword, and it's a sharp one, I'm hard on myself, but I guarantee you, on the other edge, I promise you, I'm trying to be my best person and strive to continue to be a better person. So I'm my biggest enemy. That is what strives me to be better. That's what strives me to do greater. That's what strives me to be a better example, because I can, as the old school saying says, because I can go ahead, talk my shit, say my things, do my things, but my children, first and foremost, outside of my nieces and nephews and fellows, man, bro, they gonna pay attention to what I do. Everybody knows that. It's no secret. So I can talk my shit. I can word it however I want to. I can carry myself however I want to. What I do, cause that. So it all. The end of that question right there. Me, I'm my biggest issue. I'm my biggest problem. I'm my biggest solution. I'm the only enemy. Myself. And I can figure that shit out.
I like that.
I can.
You know, you look at that, that's a deep level of self-reflection, and that's a deep level of self-awareness, because something like that, going deep inside yourself and, you know, looking at some of these flaws, these self-wars that we all go through, right? That's a battle within itself. And some of us can't even sit in a quiet room by ourselves. We need the noise. We need the attention, right?
I know.
We need devices to calm it down, man. So it leads to addictive, negative behaviors.
I know.
Going into these self-battles, man, it's probably the hardest thing you can do in your life, right?
I would like to think so.
In your life.
But it goes on. It goes on.
It goes on. I like your analogy, right? You know, 1% better every day. Like, you're getting better every day. You're not dwelling on it. Okay, you made a mistake. That's where the self-compassion comes in.
That's right.
That's where that self-compassion, that's where that God in you comes in.
People are so caught up on, because of their own definition of perfection. You know, even though they know it's not perfect, but it's their definition of perfection. which I consider them considering the best they can do in that particular situation or circumstance. And I particularly call bullshit. But that's why I say to myself, I'm what I call a loner. I'm not proud of it. You dig? I'm not. But I've studied women and men long enough. And I'm talking about good men, good women, good dudes, good women. But I've also studied the dark side. And I just feel like having 7 daughters and 4 boys is best for me to just go ahead and keep studying. I ain't got no business interacting physically in the realm of a lot of y'all. I mean, I'll watch like we should all do.
Yes.
Sorry, cuz, I'll be honest. My company.
That's nice.
Shit, I'm just gonna be real. If I get invited somewhere, you know, I don't need to know the whole roster, but damn, you know, can I have an idea? Because energy is energy, and I believe in it. You know, I don't walk around with gems on my goddamn forehead, but at the same time, I know vibes, I know spirits, and I've been blessed to recognize souls. Not everybody can understand that. Take it how you will. But that's why I'm a loner. Why can't I just leave you alone? Shit. But if you do see me in attendance after fooling with my cousin Jackie, then you already know how I feel. No problem, no big deal. Right, girls? Yeah.
Hey, man, I love that, man. We talk about energy. We gotta talk about the law of energy, man. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transmuted.
That's right, sir. That's right.
You say energy, man. You can feel energy. You have a strong intuition. I believe that's a gift from God.
I do too, sir. I do too.
Sense spirit. You know, the intuition of a person, right?
Yeah, me too. Me too, cuz.
Man, being blessed with that, right? Like, that is a blessing.
Yes, it is.
And it's a skill set that I would say it's a skill set now because you've been reading on it, you've been studying it.
Yes,
skill
sir.
set you manifest it, and I can see you being a loner because a lot of people like us can be misunderstood to certain situations. To the average mind that's not really able to have this intelligentsia because they're distracted by their external world.
Yes, sir. That makes sense. That makes total sense to me. Total sense. So from here, it's okay to start, as far as I'm concerned, being that this is my first meet with you. I think that we have much to discuss. There's going to be a lot of Q&As.
Man, a lot.
I'll let you decipher through those, and I don't mind if you would like. I'll come back and deal with those Q&As. But before we end anything, I want everybody to know that I appreciate my cousin Jackie. He bringing me out my cave. He's an awesome dude. All of my children love his ass, and yeah, we're gonna do this again.
Of course, man. It's been a good talk, man, and like I said, I love these talks because it's so therapeutical, and you get to see the other person's story, and they open up, and it's just we learn from each other. Each time we talk, it's like a closer integration, right? We talk about unification at the beginning of this video. The more we can understand each other, the better we can do for each other.
Yes, sir.
Because now there's a sense of understanding rather than, oh, I don't understand you, so I'm gonna judge you.
I know. And it's more than just that aspect of what you speak of and the fact that we're just sitting next to each other. No, this is a reincarnation of what you've already experienced.
Yes.
And what I've already experienced it, you know, with you and a lot of happy moments, dog. You hear me? And me, and I have a lot of happy moments. We both shared a lot of different things. So it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope that it's got to this point to where I remember we was already speaking this shit into existence. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that you are as fresh and as fly and dope as you are when it comes to the industry and the business you're doing. You feel me? From community and KCK and KC Mo, I think that's dope as fuck. I'm sorry, I just do. You know, so I don't mind coming out the closet, you know, coming out and just coming out the cave and shit, saying hello. I fuck with this gentleman, and he can ask me whatever he want to, and I trust him, and I trust his audience.
Right.
I trust his audience. You dig? Because I trust him. So anything y'all want to ask him, and we'll answer it. And y'all gonna have a lot to say. Y'all ain't gonna be happy about some of that shit. But please be nice and take it easy on me. Consider me a social virgin.
This is all just pre-game warm-up, guys. You know, just the introduction part, right?
That's all it is.
Come back.
I gotta deal with him again. He gonna make sure of it. He gonna make sure of it. He gonna make sure of it because he's terrible. And he don't give me no passes. He gonna make sure I gotta deal with his ass. So yeah, we're gonna do a follow-up. You dig?
We're gonna do a follow-up, man, for real. Are there any closing statements you would like to add? Like, man, you know, it's always a pleasure to seeing you and being in your presence. The physical energy, right? You know what I'm saying? The vibration is too high right now.
I fuck with you very heavily. My closing statement is the same that I left a little bit on TikTok. So listen, I'm a little rusty, but si porta. Que necesita ayuda, que necesita novia, esposa, si porta macho aquí, you're not going nowhere, we're gonna marry out, yo quiero ayuda, we're gonna marry you motherfuckers, and I got people set up, forgive me, he'll edit what he want to, que necesita ayuda, que yo quiero esposa, novia, esposo, novio, que macho aquí, cabrero. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Beautiful.
Sign out.
Bilingual shit. Signing out.